My brothers and sisters, I thank you guys so much for tuning in, for taking your time, your very valuable time, and listening. My name is Jason, and this is the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And the goal and the mission of this family-oriented and family-run channel is that we serve our Creator, Yahuwah. That we don't just serve Him in word and deed, but we serve Him in teaching as much as we can possibly teach from what we have learned. For what I have learned, I am eternally grateful. Without the Torah, I would not know that there is a Creator that loves me and has a way for me. I would not know that I should be out talking to you and loving you and telling you guys about the different way that is alternate to the world that we live in today. It is without the Torah that I would be eating unclean foods, swine, and filthy food that could potentially hurt me. I didn't know. I grew up, and as a Christian, I did not have any of the morals of the Torah because I believed that the Torah was gone, that the laws of God were abolished because the Son of God came and died for my sins, and so I no longer needed to keep what the people of God had kept. And I was shocked when I read this Bible. I was shocked. I was shocked by what I learned. I was shocked by the power I have been inheriting by reading this book and coming to terms with our Creator. It is by far one of the best, it is the best literature that has ever been written. It's the best-selling book of all time. It has never been disputed. People have tried, but it has not been disputed. You cannot dispute the Torah and the Gospels. There are first-hand accounts of our Messiah coming down and doing the works that are written about him, and that he died and that he was resurrected in 3 days, and it is by his blood and by his stripes we are healed. Our Creator delivered a way, and he will deliver a way for all of us. My friends, in 2019, we were presented with what you could only describe as the Great Deception. The Bible tells us that the Great Deception is going to get everybody but the elect. And it's just barely safe for the elect. The elect would not be tricked. Now, there's roughly 1/10 of the world that didn't get tricked. Every place in every country, everybody that had their eyes upon that wall, upon that television programming, is locked. Hook, line, and sinker. And their reality is a reality outside of reality. And when you say anything outside of that reality, you're banned from the fake reality of this reality. That was deep. My friends, they've openly said they are orchestrating a famine. They are openly saying that we're going to eat the bugs. They're openly saying all of this great evil. And you know what? I say bring it on. The only way to get us to where we need to be is for these monsters to do what the Bible says they're going to do, and that is going to run amok. These monsters are going to run amok, and they're going to get most of us. Yah will save some. Who knows who's going to be saved? But these people don't have great intent for us. These people are, if they're even people at this point, have nothing but bad intent for us. And it's pretty late in the game. It was years ago when I was yelling and screaming for everybody to stock up on flour and rice and lentils and things of that nature. And, you know, it's the funny thing about the Christians is that they believe in the fake rapture. And this fake rapture, they don't have to go through any kind of the tribulation that is coming. But yet, over and over and over, you can see the warehouses from East Coast to West Coast, and they snap up in flames. You can see granaries across the world snap up in flames. You can see fertilizer not being shipped. My friends, if you do not see this, I am sorry, but the world that we know is gone. And what is coming is going to be a struggle. It is going to be something that we are all absolutely going to be tested with, and we are going to be tested to the very maximum, even possibly to death. We have to be able to never ever deny the name of our Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach. We have to never ever give in and eat the whatever it is they want you to eat. You must be a set apart, peculiar person that is ready for this kind of war that is coming. And my job is not to gain subscribers. My job is to help those who are working on this kingdom to come and the world that we are going to be crossing over into. I believe without a shadow of a doubt that everything that I read from the beginning of the book to the end of the book is completely true. And the extracurricular books back this up. I believe without a shadow of a doubt we are somewhere inside of Revelations where the people are all dying around us. And it's not going to get any better, and it's only going to get worse, and there's just mad confusion. And this is part of the great deception. Don't expect those who've been deceived to ever wake up, and if they do, it's going to be at the end. We are at a crossroads, and we are at a place where we must separate ourselves, and we must be ready for whatever challenges are coming. They've cut off most of people's jobs. They've cut off most of everything that is going around. We, Bossland, we haven't had a job for a long time. It's the struggle is real. And the struggle is good versus evil. And the Bible is so clear in Revelations when it talks about those who are lovers of Yahuwah. We're going to be tested. Right? The devil doesn't come after the Christians. The devil doesn't give a rip about the Christians. They're his. They all worship on the wrong day, and they eat the wrong foods, and they do all sorts of great evil. That is against the Torah. They're his. It's the Torah keepers he wants to wage war on it, because those of us who are willing to speak up and speak and shout the name of Yah. Those are those of us he wants to hurt. And it's a spiritual battle, along with a physical battle that is coming. And my hopes and goals of this lesson is that you guys are ready, and that you will be courageous, and that you will have the faith that is able to move a mountain, that you will understand that the spiritual war and the physical war that is coming to us is going to be greater than we've ever seen. And we must keep the faith. We must keep our eyes on the ball. We must keep our eyes on the kingdom to come. Today's lesson is in James. And again, people, I've talked to folks about the translations and the different versions. And just to make it very clear, I read in 5 or 6 different translations. And so I've read this particular chapter in at least 4 translations and have tried to piece it together in various things. And I want to point out some things real quick when it comes to translation, and how translation is absolutely everything. And we must understand what translation is. And then I will read this in a different translation, but I'm going to use the right words. And we're in the book of James as we know James. And James is a letter J, obviously, right? But J's weren't invented until way into the thousands. 1611 was the first time we heard of the name Jesus. Prior to that, it was Iesus. But the name James is Yaakov, and it's a servant of Elohim. Is continuing on here. But Yaakov, and then we have Elohim, and then coming up we have Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach. And so these are the proper translations. And so when we read these, if you guys are in things like the NIV, please understand the names mean everything. Acts 4:12 says there's no other name under heaven by which man may be saved. And we are missing the target when we use the name Jesus, because that wasn't his name. I don't know if we'll be taxed for that. I don't know if it's a problem. But if Acts 4:12 is true, and there is only one name under heaven by which man may be saved, we should probably come very close to getting that. And whether it's Yahushua, Yahshua, Yeshua, it's something very close to that. And so I want to read the first 5 of this, and then I'll explain why I want to read it in the other version. Yaakov, a servant of Elohim and of the Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting. Guys, this is you. You guys are part of the 12 tribes. If there was a letter that was ever written to anybody, this is written to you. It says right here, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. So congratulations, you got a letter from Yaakov. So it says, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith works patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Elohim, that gives to all men liberally, and upbraids not, and it shall be given to him. So as I am reading this, I get stuck right there at upbraids, because I'm not sure what upbraids not mean. And when you're reading this, as long as you are very clear that there is no correct translation, there are some that are more correct than others, and I know folks have an issue with me reading out of the NIV, but when you read all of these translations and then try to read a version that makes sense, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the meat and potatoes, but if you're trying to dial in like a slice with a razor blade, then use other versions. But for like easy reading, the NIV works for me and for these lessons. So, James, a servant of Yahuwah and of the Yahushua HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes scattered among the nations, greetings. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So before we break into the next verse, which is totally separate of this is a call to all of us and all of you who I know are struggling out there. You who are in poverty, you who are having your house taken. I've seen tons of you guys out there that are telling me your houses are about to be taken and there's nothing left but faith in Yah. And this is where I am saying you're absolutely correct that our Creator loves you and that He is not going to let you drop. He will not let you drop. It may not be a comfortable transition, but at the end of the transition, you'll understand why Yah did what He did and how He's going to do it. But this is important, guys. It's important that we are understanding that when we are tested like this, it's a test. This is a resume. This is what we are doing. How are we going to handle ourselves? How are we going to handle this adversity? What will we do? Will we always praise the name of Yah through everything? All the way to the very deathbed, no matter how the death comes, we must praise Yah in everything and never, ever take our eyes off Him. Because that's the way out. There's no other way out. The rest of this world is falling, folks. There's nothing left. Verse 5, very important. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask Yahuwah, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. This is a repeat. This is something, when I found this out as a kid, in my prayers to Yahuwah, to God, I ask Him every single day, and during my prayers, I said, will you please bestow me wisdom? My mother had told me that it says this in the Bible, that if you ask for wisdom, He will give it to you. And it is one of the only gifts that are out there that you can get by simply asking for that. And the spirit of wisdom is something amazing. It is like a literal spirit of, I don't know, it's like you become smarter, or you understand, or you're able to take things and understand them where you weren't before. And it's not man-made. Man-made is knowledge. Wisdom is from our Creator. And so when you guys ask for this, it says He'll give liberally. And we've heard this. Solomon talks about this. I mean, there's tons of places in the Bible. Now, this is the very important part, guys. And I know those of you who are in bondage, who are stressing, who know the great evil is upon us. Listen, but when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from Yahuwah. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. Guys, we must believe. I always come back to creation. I always come back to, can you look at the blade of grass, the one blade of grass I've talked about before that you can and shown in videos that you can zoom in under a microscope and there's a whole bunch of smiley faces. Look at a dog. Look at the human tongue and how it moves around the mouth and how you don't have to know and remember to breathe or remember to blink, or that we don't have to remember to swallow. Right? Everything that we have is automated. It is automatic. It is perfect. It is a perfect, complete, without broken design. Right? There is a Creator. There is somebody, and He has set a set of bread trails of crumbs, which is the Torah, all the way back to the kingdom to come. He has provided not only the breadcrumbs, but He's provided the path, the vehicle, the Messiah, the Yahushua. That we can take his blood and we can use that we can save ourselves from the curse of the death of the Torah. We will die a spiritual death if it was not for our Messiah. So when you ask, we must believe. We don't want doubt right now. You can't have doubt. You must understand that even though it doesn't get answered how you think it should get answered, that it's not because he's not listening. It's because he's changing and doing things a different way. My dogs are always going to bark. Verse 9. Believers in humble circumstances ought to take pride in their high position, but the rich should take pride in their humiliation, since they will pass away like a wild flower. So there's something right there. It's good to be poor. For those of us who are poor out there, knuckles to you. I'm good. I'm happy living the poor life. It is better than being in chains. Verse 11. For the sun rises with scorching heat and withers the plant. Its blossom falls, and its beauty is destroyed. In the same way, the rich will fade away even while they go about their business. Blessed is the one who perseveres under the trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that Yahuwah has promised to those who love him. Guys, that is the promise. That is our finish line. That is where we are trying to get to. That is the end, right? Do you love Yahuwah? Are you keeping the Shema? Do you love Yahuwah with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul? Is your life dedicated to him? Is everything that you do from waking to sleeping, is it all about him? Is it about the Torah? Even at work, where you go to work and what you have to do, is it on your mind? Do you look like the world? Do you taste like the world? Can people tell that you're a different kind of breed of person by the way that you act and conduct yourself, the way you talk, the way that you act? Because those who are in covenant with our Creator are those who are pure, and those are good and righteous in their lives and in their heart. So, and is blessed who's one. I mean, blessed is those who preserves under the trial, because that's what this is all about. This testing that is coming upon us it's going to be apocalyptic. Verse 13. When tempted, no one should say, Yahuwah is tempting me. For Yahuwah cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. And this is a question I just asked my son. I'm like, how can that be? Because we've seen examples in the book of Job, where Yah does let Job be tempted. But at the same time, he's only allowing these evil critters that are all around to do the dirty work. He's not doing this himself. He's just seeing how we're going to react when these evil things are coming at us. And if you don't think the devil has the power to sift and to kill us, remember that Messiah Yahushua said that Peter, Hasatan is trying to sift you. I am praying that he is not able to sift you. All right, let's continue on. We're almost done with this, guys. Nor does he tempt anyone, but each person is tempted when they are dragged. Yes, verse 15. Then after desire has conceived, yes, so and after this, you're basically birthing your own death, right? Then after desire has conceived, when you do evil, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. And that's not just a physical, but it's also a spiritual death. Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chose to give us birth through the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created. What does that mean right there? Well, he offered up Messiah Yahushua that he would be able to redeem us for those who are willing to take in his gift of mercy, his gift of grace, his gift of delivering his son on the stake that allowed us to be saved, the perfect sacrifice, the need for us not to have a high priest, the need for us not to have thousands of sacrifices and daily sacrifices and wave offerings and first fruits, all these kinds of offerings that we used to have, we don't have to have because we have Messiah Yahushua. And so he gave us birth through the word of truth. And the word of truth is the Torah, and I would say the Torah made flesh, because Yahushua was truth. So verse 19, my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that Yahuwah desires. My friends, I fall at this. If this is a quality to get into the kingdom to come, I get an F. Maybe I don't even grade myself at this. This is very, very, very bad. So as I'm always speaking to you guys, I'm always speaking to myself in all things. And, this is not just me, but my sons. You carry this. It's almost like a generation. Impatience is a generational curse. And I need to. I have tattoos were not against the Torah. I'd probably need to tattoo this one on my arm and read this all the time and take notes, because I do truly follow at this point. Verse 21. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. Now, see, this is where there's a problem with the Christian religion, right? Because they don't know what the word of Yah is. They don't know what the Torah is because they've rejected the Torah, and they don't care about the Torah. Nobody even wants to hear about it. So, but there's something that saves you right here, right? What is it? The word planted in you, right? You're not just going to have Messiah, Yahushua, planted in you. You're going to have the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator that are written on your heart, mind, and soul, your platelets of your eyes, the doorsteps of your house, the gates of your house. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be what we're celebrating, right? This is our Creator created us, and there's nothing better than Him. This is a reason to worship Him, because He is amazing, and He builds amazing stuff. 22. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Again, this is a Christian conundrum, right? What word are they even talking about? In the Christian religion, if you told them do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves, what would they say? What word? What are you talking about? Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in the mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Wow. Guys, I mean, it's so plain right here, right? Doesn't it say, whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom? How does the perfect law give freedom? Well, if we are keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator, then we're not going to live in guilt. There is a freedom of living how our Creator wants to live, that we know that when we take our last breath, that we have hope that our Creator will accept us because we have kept His laws, statutes, and commands, and the faith of Messiah Yahushua. So we have a freedom in keeping the Torah because we're not under the same kind of judgment if we're sitting here eating pork, thinking we can bless it and thinking that Messiah Yahushua died so we could eat pork. That's not good. Verse 26. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Religion that Yahuwah, our Father, accepts as pure and faultless is this. This is important, guys. It says right here, what religion do you have, right? We had indoctrination religions and 40,000 religions out there. There's so many. What do you pick? Well, you pick the Bible. You pick the straight, what do they say on the streets? The straight dope. You pick the source. That is what this is what we should be picking. So, yeah. So your religion, if you consider yourself, I don't consider myself religious at all. I consider myself a Torah keeper. I consider myself a commandment keeper. I wouldn't say I have a religion. I serve the Almighty living Elohim, Most High. That's who I serve. I see all of the evil and the demons and stuff, and I don't, and I will not choose them. Verse 27, religion that Yahuwah our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this. Important. To look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. So there that is again. That keep polluted by the world. That place that we're supposed to separate ourselves from, that we're supposed to become isolated from the world, right? We wouldn't, if we were expecting a trip with Messiah Yahushua, if he ever does extract people, we wouldn't be sitting on our couch watching TV. Our families wouldn't be doing this. Our families would be set apart. We would be set apart. We would be worshiping our Creator. We'd be blowing our shofars on the new moons. We'd be celebrating His feasts and His holy days and His Sabbaths, which, tomorrow is a Sabbath. So today's a preparation day. It's all important. Everything like this is important. Will we get in step and will we line up for a beautiful, wonderful Creator? Will we subject ourselves to our Creator? And I would say you would almost have to be a fool. And I know we shouldn't say fool, that says that in the Bible, but you would have to be a fool to reject what is obviously in front of us. A lot of people are so broken that they're like, well, if God is real, why wouldn't he come down? Why wouldn't he just tell me, talk to me? And he does. You can simply look at creation and you can see our Creator. I see creation in my dog's eyes when they look at me, and they have intelligence, and they're looking at you, and it's just, the hand of our Creator has been there, and that he built everything around us, right? And I'm going to wrap up with this, and this picture, I know our Messiah didn't die on a cross, it was a stake, but this picture I saw really sums up the world that we are in right now, and the people that have basically taken a hand in taking over the world as Satan's people, right? And it's about our keeping ourselves clean, keeping our bodies pure, making sure that we are ready when the Messiah comes, when the kingdom comes, when that day comes. And as the testing comes, we must be ready. And I can only tell you that I have enough faith for all of us, and I know the future that is coming, and we will be tested, but we will be okay. We are going to find ourselves, and you know what? There is going to be an exodus. When everything seems pretty much game over, well, if we die in our faith, we simply close our eyes and waken on the other side when it happens. And if Messiah comes, then that'll be cool. If Yah sends some messengers to help us, that would be awesome. But you know what? You must have the faith, and there is a Creator. So know that he has sent a message to you, and I hope this message you have received. Much love to everybody out there. Happy Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. I'm out.